The one thing you gotta love about riding in southern Manitoba.
It's flatter than a pancake.
Whoa, whoa!
Whoa, Sid, watch out! Watch out!
Palmer, what was that?
So sorry, Sid, but I set an alarm to remind me that it was time to back up my hard drive to the internet.
Well, you could have given me some warning.
Now what? There's no one around to help us.
Yeah, bikes are great, but it's times like these that I wish we had horses.
Maybe if we wish hard enough. Whoa! Where'd they come from?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Hey, Palmer, 2 horses just appeared out of nowhere.
I'd say opportunity has knocked.
What do you mean?
Well, your bikes need fixing.
They sure do.
And you're also near a perfect spot for horseback riding.
We are?
Absolutely. Not too far from here is Riding Mountain National Park. I'm sure you'll find help for your bikes there, and you'll get a chance to ride along its many trails. A lot of them were made by the early First Nations thousands of years ago.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's go. Hello? Hello? These horses don't seem to be with anybody.
Let's saddle up.
Okay.
You know, I've been thinking, it might be fun to travel the trails the way First Nations did long ago.
What do you mean?
Well, since they didn't have GPS back then, they needed to rely on their 5 senses to track and find things.
So we have to rely on our sight, touch, smell, hearing, and our,
That would be taste, Sid.
right, taste. When traveling through Riding Mountain?
Totally right. And so for today, my GPS is officially on holiday.
That sounds like fun. Sid, I see a trail over there.
Good. Your senses are working already.
Let's go.
Today on CG Kids, we travel to Riding Mountain National Park in Manitoba, where we'll meet with the people of the Anishinaabe Nation.
And we'll get to explore this incredible wilderness the way it was done long ago, by horse. It's an adventure you won't want to miss.
Geographic Kids.
Hear anything?
Smell anything?
See anything?
Nope. We're in Riding Mountain National Park, and we're about to meet up with Mark Young, who Palmer says is going to tell us all about this park and hopefully help us fix our bikes.
But we promised Palmer that we'd find him using First Nation tracking techniques. That means no GPS, relying on our 5 senses and our trusty horses.
Riding Mountain is an incredible park. It's found pretty much in the middle of Canada, about 265 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg. Riding Mountain is part of the Manitoba Escarpment, a terraced ridge separating the rolling hills in the west from the Red River Valley lowlands in the east.
A national park since 1929, it covers almost 3,000 square kilometers and is made up of coniferous and deciduous forests, along with grasslands and wetlands. Because of such diversity, it's home to hundreds of bird species, as well as wolves, moose, elk, white-tailed deer, and coyote. It's amazing and the perfect place to try out our First Nations tracking skills. Now, should we go this way or that way?
Definitely that way. Although, this way looks pretty good too.
I can't believe we're lost already. Do you think Pommel were serious about not helping us at all?
I was, but I have full confidence in you. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
Too bad we're not looking for trees. The horses definitely want to go towards Clear Lake Trail.
I can see why horses were and are really important in a place like this. They really seem to know where they're going.
Yeah.
Oh, and just one more thing.
No, Palmer. Remember what you said. No help. Anyway, my tracking senses are tingling. Mark Young, here we come.
Glad to hear it, Sid, but I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to transmit a video uplink.
As long as they don't want directions.
Hey, Sid and Cat. Were horses always in North America?
The early ancestors of these big guys lived in North America around 54 million years ago. But around 10,000 years ago, they disappeared. No one really knows why. Could have been climate change or some sort of disease.
But it wasn't until the Spanish and other Europeans brought them back to North America in the 1500s that they returned. So basically, they were here, and then they weren't, and then they were again. Sid, I think that we could use a little help. I know that you said that your tracking senses are tingling, but I don't see Mark Young.
Kat, sometimes you just have to have faith. You know, if you believe, things happen.
I did believe, only I believe Sid knew more than he was telling me. Hey, Sid, where are you going? Sid, wait up. I think we should talk about... Sid, you're not even listening to me.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
You wouldn't be Mark Young, would you?
Yes, I would. Thanks for bringing 5 and Red back. They always seem to wander away like that.
Sid, how'd you know to do that?
I just let the horse take me to his home.
I guess our senses are still gonna need a workout.
There's no better place to do that than here in Riding Mountain. Horses were important to the First Nations in the local area here. The horse figured in very well to their travels. So I think that might assist you in your travels while you're here.
On the way in, I saw a sign about bison or something.
Yep, we have some bison here in the park.
That would be amazing to see.
Hey, could we see them?
Yes, you can. But first, I'll send you to a First Nations expert on bison named Eugene Blackbird.
How do we find him?
Well, he's at the Key Sharing Lodge. I just sent a group of young riders there recently.
How do we find that?
If you use a horse and follow your senses and follow the kids' trail, you might be able to find them. But they're heading out to the backcountry soon, so I suggest you go pretty quick.
Hey, cool. Thanks a lot, Mark. It's tracking time.
All right.
Be good, 5. Be good, Red.
Whoa.
See you later.
All right, see ya.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You know, I don't think this is the right direction towards the Key Sharing Lodge. I think we should have taken the Clear Lake Trail.
Or follow the signs from the Arrowhead Trail.
Remember, signs sometimes can be wrong. Trust in your senses.
Palmer's right. We haven't even been using our senses.
Mark said we should be following the kids' trail. Maybe that's what we should be doing. Hey, look! Hoofprints! Going that way.
Yeah. And look, someone brushed up against this tree.
So maybe we are on the right trail.
See? You're getting the hang of it.
Come on, Sid, let's get going. Thanks, Palmer. Come on. Time was running out as we hurried to get to Eugene and the kids before they left for their trip. Key Sharing Lodge, we made it.
Hey, our senses do work.
Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to be Eugene, would you?
Yes, I would be.
Mark sent us here to find out about the bison.
You wouldn't happen to have a couple minutes to chat?
Yes, I do. Why don't we go inside?
Okay, Red?
Stay here, 5.
And these are the kids.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
I'm Kat.
I'm Sid.
Nice to meet you guys. So, Eugene, how important were the buffalo to the First Nation?
The buffalo were very important to First Nation people. They were food supply. They were for clothing, for shelter, for tools, for weapons, everything that we needed to survive.
So what First Nations used to live in this area traditionally?
Traditionally, it was the Cree and the Dakota, and then we moved in, the Ojibwe people, the Anishinaabe people.
And how many buffalo would have been around back then?
Oh, geez, that would probably be about 60 million.
That's like twice the population of Canada.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened? They were hunted to nearly extinction. When the early settlers came in, they hunted them and they just took the hides and they left the carcasses.
How many buffalo are around today?
Throughout Canada, there's different areas that have a large buffalo population. They're all over the place in North America.
Do you guys want to know anything? Any questions?
Yes, Patrick.
What's the difference between buffalo and bison?
Difference between a buffalo and a bison. Wow, that's a really good question, Patrick. The difference between a buffalo and a bison is the name. Bison comes from the Greek word, and buffalo comes from the French fur traders, and it comes from boeuf, meaning ox-like or bull, and they extended it to buffalo, but the original name is bison.
So, 2 names, 1 animal.
Yeah, 2 names, 1 animal.
Are the buffalo still at risk at all today?
Yes, they're still vulnerable to the disease TB, which also can be contracted with the other animals, the moose, the elk, and the white-tailed deer.
I thought tuberculosis only affected humans.
No, it can be affected through these animals also.
Is there anything being done to prevent that?
There's a program in the park that monitor the TB disease.
Cool, well, we'd love to check that out.
It'd be awesome to see.
How do we get there?
Well, you would have to go and see Tim and Ian, and you would be taking that grasshopper trail.
Is it hard to find?
No, actually, no, it isn't. You would have to use one of your senses to find them.
Cool, so we've used our sight and our touch. Is there another sense that we might need to use to find them?
There's one that we use regularly, and it's hearing.
Cool, hearing.
And the reason why you need your hearing is because it is mating season now for the elk, and you'll hear them bugling, you'll hear them snorting and making different kinds of noises out there. So you'll listen and you will find your way.
Oh, great, so we get to use our hearing. Hearing. Hearing.
Gotcha.
I don't hear any bugling.
Neither do I. Let's just keep going. Palmer, cut it out.
Yeah, you're making it hard to hear any elk.
Blimey, I was only joking. Anyway, I've another video uplink coming through.
Put him through.
Hey guys, why do elk bugle?
Well, it's fall now, time when the elk begin to mate. But there's lots of competition between the males fighting over the females. So that's where the bugling comes in.
The bugling either acts as a warning to other males, letting them know that they're in his territory, or it acts as a challenge to competing males, signaling, if you want my females, you're gonna have to fight me for them.
You know, Kat, I don't know about this. We're going the way that Eugene told us to, but where's all the bugling?
I think we're missing just one other thing that First Nation had when tracking. Patience. I'm sure we'll hear something soon. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and it wasn't Palmer this time. We must be getting close.
Remember, we have to give the elk their space.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Are you the guys testing for TB?
We are. I'm Tim.
I'm Ian.
Nice to meet you. We're here to learn about the TB testing.
You've come to the right place.
So, what exactly is TB?
Bovine tuberculosis is a contagious respiratory disease that affects some of the elk in Riding Mountain National Park. And it's also been found in a few of the white-tailed deer.
And so that will affect the bison, right?
It has the potential to, but we haven't found it in the bison yet.
Well, that's good.
How does all this testing work?
Well, in the wintertime, we have a helicopter go in and net gun the elk, and we put a radio collar like this on them so we can find it later, and we take blood at that time and get it tested for the antibodies for tuberculosis.
So what happens next?
Well, if the blood test comes back as suspicious, then that animal is located using the radio collar. It's then recaptured with the helicopter and removed from the population.
So how do you follow their movement patterns?
We have several methods. One is using ground telemetry gear like this, so we can just go in on the ground and look for them. Another method is using an airplane with telemetry gear on it.
I think I hear one. Is that what it's doing right now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that'd be so cool to see.
Hey, Palmer, do you think you could hook us up with the video feed from the plane?
Of course. I'll just see if there's a port open and make sure the onboard cameras are turned on.
Cool.
That does it. I've managed to access a video channel.
We knew you could, Palmer.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is the pilot is flipping the switch from left to right. There's a left antenna in the plane and a right antenna. You flip between the two antennae in order to determine which side of the plane the radio-collared animal is on. If the right side is louder than the left side, then the pilot will turn towards the right until they start flying in a little confined circle around the animal. They'll make a note of the location and let Tim and I know where it is.
Brilliant video.
That was awesome. But how do you track from the ground?
Hey, I bet you guys use horses.
Well, the park is kind of large for traveling around as much as we do on horseback, so we use a different kind of horse.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you want to come check it out?
For sure.
Go ahead, I'll hold the horses.
Okay.
You stay with me, Red.
Oh, too cool. That's a huge antenna on top of the truck.
Yeah, it's pretty large. It rotates, this antenna. That gray box up on top there is actually a compass, and it's connected to a little computer display down here in the cab. From inside here, by spinning the antenna and using the electronic compass, I can determine exactly what direction the radio-collared animal is. Once I find the direction, I'll record that, and then I'll drive to a different location and get another bearing from there, and where the two bearings intersect on a map is where the animal is located.
Nice little research station on wheels.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of fun.
You know, all that gear was great, but Kat and I, we're hoping to use our senses to find these elk.
Yeah, I would love to see them, but we're trying to stay away from all that electrical stuff.
Well, using your senses, you could listen for bugling, but probably an easier way is just to go where the elk like to hang out, by the bison herd.
Oh, that's perfect, because we have to meet Mark Young by the bison herd.
So where is this bison herd?
I'll just take the Strathclyde Trail and follow your nose.
Our nose?
Just take the trail, and you'll understand what we mean.
Cool.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys later.
See you later.
So I said follow our noses. What does that mean?
Maybe he said you have a big nose, so it'll just point the way through the forest.
You think I have a big nose? I'm using my nose, but I don't smell anything that says elk or bison to me.
Maybe we should have stuck to the Strathclyde Trail.
No, my money's on Clear Lake Trail. Should we turn around?
Whoa! Just hold your horses. Don't you smell anything else besides pine trees?
I smell something, but it's really faint.
Well, it ain't me.
I think I smell animal. Whoa, I totally smell animal.
Hey, do you think it's the bison herd?
Just follow your noses, and you'll soon find out.
Come on, Sid. Let's find some bison.
I'm right behind you.
Whoa.
Well, hello there.
We made it.
You made it.
We did. We just followed our noses.
Are you guys ready to see some bison?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Great. Let's go.
Okay, you stay here, Five.
Stay here, Red.
And so, here we are.
Oh, wow.
They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Awesome. How many in the herd?
There's approximately 30 in the herd.
So why did the park decide to reintroduce these animals to the area?
The bison, prior to the park existing, was once an integral part of the ecosystem, and became apparent that if we wanted to make what it was prior to the park, we'd have to introduce a very integral part to that, and that was the bison.
They're huge animals.
They are quite big. Males can get up to 6 foot tall and weigh almost a ton. That's as much as some small cars. The females get about 5 feet and they weigh about approximately half a ton.
And both the male and female have horns?
Yes, as opposed to you see some animals, they have antlers and they shed from season to season. The bison just have horns.
So there's some baby ones in there too?
Yeah.
Aw, cute. They haven't got their horns yet.
No.
So what do they eat mainly?
The grass, they're grass eaters. Instead of biting the grass, they pull it, just like cattle and cows. They're known as ruminants, meaning that when they do eat, they actually regurgitate their food.
So what makes the bison different from, say, cows?
The distinctive character of the bison you could see by the hump, and there's a lot of muscle in that hump to carry around that big head.
So are we safe where we are?
Typically, they don't really like humans. Very often, actually, you'd see them wander away. They are wild animals. You don't go up to them and try and pet them.
The bison were really essential to the First Nations of the area.
Yeah, it was very important to them. They utilized the bison for spiritual and, of course, for food reasons. Every part of the animal was used. It was not wasted.
Are bison still important to First Nations today?
Definitely. They've never stopped being an important part of the First Nation culture. The local First Nations especially still closely identify with the bison. And just as an example, a part of the bison that's used is the skull, for instance, and one of their ceremonies called the Sundance.
And I see, like, you know, they have Kisi Lodge here. There seems to be a lot of partnerships between the local First Nations and the park.
Definitely. We've been really making strides, building our relations with the local communities.
It's so great that all these groups are coming together to help the bison. But speaking of help, our bikes are a little mangled. Could you give us a hand?
Ah, yes, your bikes.
Wow, what an amazing day. Tracking using only your senses is fantastic.
Yeah, it's been so cool using them all.
Technically speaking, you only used 4 of your 5 senses. You didn't use taste.
Well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. Hey, I hope we can fix our bikes real quick.
Yeah, it looks like the sun could be going down soon. Hey, look! Who fixed our bikes?
Well, Mark said he had a surprise for us. Maybe he fixed our bikes.
We've met so many cool people here at Riding Mountain, and great animals too.
I know what you mean.
You know, Sid, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to riding bikes. I'm kind of digging the horses.
Well, Mark did say he was coming by shortly to pick up the horses. I guess it's back to good old-fashioned pedal power.
Bye, 5.
Bye, Red.
And since it's getting dark, how about my directing you home?
Thanks, Palmer.
Yeah, you're a real pal. You know, learning how to track using your senses is great, but I think your GPS will get us home a lot faster.
All you need to do, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is ride straight into the sunset.
Ready?
Ready.